Okay, so funny thing you should ask. I just looked up a video on how to fix the audio. I don't know, something to do with my lights, I think, but what can you do? So we're just gonna film because I'm not gonna not post because of that. And a lot of people don't even notice it. It's just me that's like really picky with my audio. I don't know. I just made cinnamon coffee and it's really good. I put cinnamon or té de canela into my coffee and it's really good. And it's really helping my throat because my throat kind of, it's allergies, you know me. In this video, real YouTuber here. Today, I am going to show you how I prep my skin for a full face of foundation in the winter. Because in the winter, my skin is like SpongeBob in dry land and it's like, my whole body is dry. My hands are dry, my face is dry, my nose is dry, my throat is dry. Everything is dry and it hurts and it cracks and it's just awful. And I like wearing makeup. You like that matte look, but you also don't want to be matte and you don't want your makeup to be dry and patchy. So this is what I do to achieve the best. If you want to see how I do that shit, let's just get started. So I just cleansed my face. I used what did I use? Today I used, I think it was a cucumber cleansing, foaming cleansing thing. Any cleanser will do, you know, whatever you use is fine. Actually, no, it's not, but I'm not gonna get into that, you know. We're not focusing on that today. Today is just makeup. Okay, so the first thing I like to do, eye cream. I've been using the Lift and Firm eye gel. I found out that eye gels work best for me. It's nice and thick. I like thick, so I like to put a thick layer underneath my eyes, almost like a mask. So while I do the rest of my skincare, this has time to sink in. Oh my gosh, it feels so good. And I like to put some under the brow bone as well. Excuse my eyebrows, by the way. I actually messed them up, so I'm in the process of correcting them. This one's perfect, it's nice and straight, but this one I took a little too much from the arch. So now that you have a thick ass layer of eye gel, you're gonna move on to your next step, serum. I've raved about this in a video in the past before. I don't know if any of you remember. It's a vitamin C serum with green tea extract. Take about this much and I'm just gonna apply it to the skin. So the key is you don't want to be too slimy, but you want to be slimy enough, if that makes sense. I'm gonna go in with my moisturizer. Origins Make a Difference Moisturizing Cream. Oh my god, I forgot to mist my skin. What kind of a freaking esthetician am I? While this is like a thick layer, I take my frozen jade roller and I press it into the skin. It feels nice and cold. It feels nice and cold and it feels really good. And for the lips, since my lips are also really dry, this Moisture Lock lip oil from Milani. You're going to choose a My grandma always calls me when I film. Hi, Mommy Lola. Primer is super important to obviously get the best. Why are they so close? So primer is obviously super important for you to get the best bases possible. So pick a primer that's going to be best for you. A lot of people think primer is a scam. It can be a scam, or I don't know. Only like silicone primers are going to give you the best. And obviously like color correcting primers, I think Smashbox has a few. Those are really good. Here's my take. You have your Skin Perfect primer that I like to use when I'm not wearing as much makeup, and I love the Porefessional primer. This is my ish. So my skin is kind of tacky now from the moisturizer. This much primer, put it in the nose and right here, which is where I think I have the most pores. And then bring it under my eyes, so I can fill in those wrinkles. Okay, so this is my skin. It doesn't feel like too oily, but it feels like it's gonna hold the foundation really good. So for my foundation, obviously I've been using the NARS Radiant Longwear Foundation. Take about 2 pumps at first, and then depending on how much more I need, I'll add a pump or 2. I'm gonna dot it onto the skin. I'm going to take a kabuki brush first and blend it. Then I'm gonna take my sponge. I've noticed that if I do the kabuki brush first, it helps spread the product out evenly and it doesn't leave me patchy in the wintertime. Oh, I thought strokes retweeted me for a second. I almost had a heart attack. Before that blends, I'm gonna take my Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Ginger and also just pile it up where I need a little more coverage. So concealers are always a little more thick. This one I like to use when I'm not wearing any foundation, when I just want to do like a cute little skin moment. Now I'm taking my damp beauty sponge and I'm gonna blend it into the skin. For my concealer, I always take light to neutral, or the other one I have I think is medium, but this one's a little lighter. I like to just dot under my eyes. I'm going to take the Morphe E21 brush, and this helps with the precision as well as not drying out the skin, since when you're using a brush you're just kind of pressing everything in. On the beauty blender you do the same thing too. I feel like the brush works better. So I'm just gonna keep this as close to the eye and bring it upwards so it lifts the face, obviously. But I'm not bringing it out here, I'm just gonna keep it here. This works best for my face shape. And kind of like the same step that I did with my foundation, I'm going to take the beauty sponge again and blend it all over. Before I do any setting with setting powder, I'm gonna take my facial prime and setting mist and go back in with the sponge. Now I'm gonna go in with Laura Mercier translucent powder. This is what I do. I'm gonna take a little bit of the powder, press it underneath the eye area, but lightly, okay? I found if you put a lot of powder and let it sit, that's when you get crackly. But lightly and let it melt into the skin, so it kind of creates that blurring effect. Okay, now I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup and I'll come back and show you how I lock everything in again. How I basically lock all this in without like, hold on. How I basically like lock all this in without like getting crackly and cakey. Basically any hydrating mist. I usually use my matte setting spray, but this I find makes me feel really dry, which is good for the summertime because in the summertime I sweat a lot. But right now I'm not sweating so much, so I tend to stick to hydrating rose waters, basically anything like that. Okay, oh my gosh, don't you love bangs? Alright, so this is how I basically prep my makeup. We're full coverage, we're ready to basically do whatever you have to do today, and your face isn't gonna crack. So I hope you enjoyed this quick little video on how I prep my skin for foundation. Pretty self-explanatory video if you're asking me, but I figured a lot of you can use this for any help. It took me a while to figure out how to get my foundation nice and not crackly, because I tend to get patchy when I'm dry, but this, I mean, pretty even. So I'm just gonna go now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys very I will see you guys very soon. Bye. Right on schedule.